Hello, students. Welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. My name is Mr. Stanley Ombogo. So, dear students, welcome back to another exciting episode that we have here. And in this session, I'd like us to differentiate letters of recommendation and confidential reports. So, when we talk about letters of recommendation and confidential report, uh, these letters are more or less the same. The only difference that we have between letters of recommendation and confidential letter is that confidential letter, that is also known as reference letter, is written on request, whereas recommendation letter is not requested but written on a will. So let me start you off, that is by looking at letters of recommendation. And in this session, we are also going to look at, some of the details or information that we have in confidential letters so that we look at the similarity. So when we talk about letters of recommendation, dear students, this is a formal letter written to recommend a person for a given job, a task, or for any assistance that he or she may acquire. So another thing is that recommendation letters are normally written by employers recommending their employees for promotion or when they want to transfer to other organizations. So when we say that recommendation letters are written by employers recommending their employees, it means that um, the said employees have have worked with them or have worked in their companies, and it is time that they are now moving to other workstations. So when you are an employer and your employee is leaving you for a new job or a promotion or a different workstation, and you have been in good terms with your employees, then it is required that you write them a recommendation letter that is to confirm to the new workstation that the employees are headed to, that he served well, and that up to the point that the said employee was now leaving your workstation, you were in good terms. So just like I said earlier on, dear students, as you are starting, uh, letters of recommendation is or we can say they are the same as reference letters or confidential reports, and that the difference between the two is that one is written on a request by prospective employer of the person being recommended, while uh, letter of recommendation is written on a will. So another thing, dear students, is that a recommendation letter tends to contain only the strengths of a person, whereas a reference letter has both strengths and weaknesses of the person. So also, the person about whom the letter is written in a reference letter does not become aware of it. That is, it is confidentially sent to the person requesting for it. But a recommendation letter is written and given to the person being recommended. So up to this point, dear students, I believe that you can now easily differentiate the two letters, that is letters of recommendation and uh, confidential letters or confidential reports. So just to help you understand or get the differences better, I decided to also give you a summary of confidential reports before we move to a sample that we have of a letter of recommendation. So talking about confidential reports, also known as reference letters, these are reports written to comment on the suitability of a person for a job, task, or admission. So it is also an assessment of the suitability of someone or something for a given task or activity. So they are not meant for public readership, but for the person requesting for them. So another thing is that it is written in form of a formal letter. So both letters of recommendation and confidential reports or reference letters are written in a form of a formal letter. So they take the form of business letters. So the weaknesses as well as the strengths of the person are mentioned truly. So again, this is something that we just mentioned when we were looking at letters of recommendations. That is some of the details to be included. Remember, we said that in recommendation letters, we only highlight, a person's strength, whereas in confidential reports, the weaknesses as well as the strengths of the person are mentioned truly. So another important thing to note is that confidential reports or reference letters focus on the aspects that are relevant to the job applied for. So, dear students, I believe that the summary that we have on the screen has, helped you differentiate between letters of recommendation and confidential reports. But of course, there are also, certain similarities that we are able to, identify or observe. So the next thing that we have on our screen, dear students, is a sample of a letter of recommendation. So because we said that these letters take the formal of a formal letter, we have two addresses beginning with the address of the sender. So under the address of the sender, we have Winham Gardens, PO Box 54765, then 000100 Nairobi. So skip a line, then move to the date, and our date is 15th July 2024. So after writing the date, move to the receiver's address, that is skipping a line after writing the date. So our receiver's address is here. So to the Human Resource Manager, Landscaping Enterprises, PO Box 1220100, Nairobi. Dear Sir, Stock Madam. So our regards here is recommendation for Mr. James Kitaka. So dear students, as I go through this letter, I want you to be keen and highlight or identify the strengths given about Mr. James Kitaka. And I also want you to confirm that when writing letters of recommendations, our focus is on the strengths but not the weaknesses, as we saw in confidential reports. That is when I was giving a summary of confidential reports, which has got both the strengths and weaknesses. So to the body of our letter, I have known Mr. Kitaka for the last 6 years. During this time, he worked as a gardener in our flower farm where we grow flowers of all types for export. While working for the company, he attended short courses both locally and overseas and obtained a diploma in flower growing and landscaping. Mr. Kitaka is an innovative person who is quite adventurous. He, in fact, introduced a number of exotic flowers in our farm, which saw our sales soar. He is hardworking and needs no supervision. I therefore recommend him with full confidence that he will not disappoint you. If you need further information, do not hesitate to write. Then we have our closing there, starting with the closing remark. Yours faithfully, then the signature and the name, not forgetting the position or designation. So another thing when you're using the closing remarks, remember that yours faithfully is used when you do not know the name of the person you are addressing, and yours sincerely is used when you know the addressee. So that is the difference between the two closing remarks. So dear students, looking at this sample, I believe you are able to see that it is all about praises. We can highlight some of the areas. In the first part where Mr. James Kitaka is praised, the writer is stating that while working for the company, Mr. James Kitaka attended short courses both locally and overseas and obtained that is a diploma, sorry, in flower growing and landscaping. So that is already, a plus. That is a strength. Then again, we are told that he is an innovative person who is quite adventurous. That is also another strength. Then another Another good quality we see in Mr. James Kitaka is that he was able to introduce a number of exotic flowers in the farm. So that is also a strength. Then lastly, we are told that he is hardworking and needs no supervision. So looking at this sample, we do not have any weaknesses cited. So if we were to write a confidential report or a reference letter, it will take the same format. It will take the same format. The only difference is that in the body, we will be having both the weaknesses and the strengths of Mr. James Kitaka. That is, if we were to write a confidential report. So, yes, students, I believe that that was super helpful, and thank you for staying tuned till the end. Remember to always keep it easy, Alimu, so that we grow together. Until next time.